Hello and welcome to the next game review for TSG Channel 2. In this video, I'm going to talk about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is the most recent installment of the Assassin's Creed franchise. I recall as I played Assassin's Creed Origins, which was set in ancient Egypt, I was thinking how cool it would be to see ancient Rome or ancient Greece or any other intriguing places in world history that I find interesting. Lo and behold, Assassin's Creed Odyssey takes place in ancient Greece. In this episode of the Assassin's Creed series, you can play the part of either Cassandra, a female hero, or a male hero named Alexios. I chose Alexios for my initial playthrough. I estimate that I'm probably pretty close to halfway through the main plot at the time of this review, so keep that in mind when I give you my impressions of the game. I'm playing on Xbox One. This game is also available for PS4 and PC. A quick warning to parents. This game is rated M for mature due to blood and gore, intense violence, sexual themes, and strong language. It delivers on all of these things, so you might want to consider that before giving it to a child. As usual, I'm not out to ruin anyone's fun, so I've done my best to limit the possibility of spoilers in this review. I'm planning to focus mainly on game mechanics and my impressions of the game so far. So let's talk about the graphics first. As you can see from this captured gameplay footage in this review, the game is gorgeous. The day and night cycle is very well done, and special effects such as water and fire look great. Playing at night versus playing during the day can affect how easy it is to use stealth tactics, so it's not just done for the fun of it. There's also varying weather conditions. It doesn't seem to affect the gameplay, but it's nice to look at nonetheless. The story, as I mentioned, is set in ancient Greece, and you end up meeting some well-known Greek figures such as the philosopher Socrates, the physician Hippocrates, and the playwright Euripides, just to name a few. On that same subject, I've also seen a Medusa on the game's marketing materials, so I assume that's going to be someplace in the future as well. The game mechanics are very similar to the other recent Assassin's Creed releases. Parkour, stealth, and athletics play a huge role in how you get around and take care of your assassin business. Another similarity in common with Origins is the use of a bird for advanced scouting of enemy positions. Your eagle's name is Ikaros, obviously named after the Greek legend Icarus, whose wings melted when he flew too close to the sun. You can level up this eagle's ability by synchronizing elevated places on the map, like mountaintops and tall buildings in cities. You also have a horse, Phobos, that magically appears when you whistle for it outdoors. This helps you travel quickly without having to use the fast travel option from the big map. There's really a lot to cover with this game, so let's start by looking at each category in the menu. The map being the first tab in the game menu. This game is huge, just like Origins was. You start out in the province of Kefalonia, which is used as sort of a tutorial or introduction chapter to get you accustomed to the controls and how things work. Like Origins, each province on the map is labeled with a number or range of numbers that tells you what level you should be before trying to explore there. You'll also notice that much of the map is covered by ocean. You know what that means, the return of a strong naval element to the game. This is one of my favorite parts of this game.
Awaiting your orders, Commander! Sailing speed!
You take possession of a ship early on and have to use it to travel to the various islands on the map. The world is truly humongous, and most of the provinces have a ton of side quests and exploration opportunities. This game will keep you busy with or without the main plot storyline. We're talking hundreds of places and quests to explore. Even the water between the islands is littered with shipwrecks and lost underwater cities to explore. It's amazing how much the developers packed into the game. Okay, now on to the other menu screens. The Quest tab lists out all the quests that you're working on. There are main quests and a few categories of side quests. Odyssey quests are the ones that push the storyline forward. If you focus on these alone, you'll finish the game pretty quickly. The World and Characters quests are side quests that you pick up from talking to people. They usually lead to very good rewards like better weapons and armor. The Bounties and Contracts quests are picked up from job boards which are usually found in cities. There seems to be an unlimited number of quests that you can pick up on job boards, so you can keep yourself very busy just by completing these. The Inventory tab shows you everything you're carrying. Each square represents a category of item. Some of these categories have subcategories, like this weapons subcategory. Weapons come in several flavors, like daggers, swords, staffs, spears, and more. You can probably guess, some are way faster to strike, and others are slower to handle because of their weight. But of course, the slow ones do more damage. You'll notice some of the weapons have a colored background. That denotes how special the weapon is. Regular weapons can be found anywhere and purchased from merchants. They provide a slot for one engraving. I'll talk about the engravings in just a second. Blue weapons are rare and have 2 upgrade slots. Purple is epic with 3, and gold is legendary with 4 slots for engravings. Just about every piece of equipment you take possession of is upgradable or can be disassembled to obtain raw materials. So when you find a new weapon, you can sell it for money or take it apart and use the components from it to upgrade another piece of equipment at the blacksmith shop. You can also purchase raw materials from merchants. The raw materials are used for any kind of upgrades, whether it be to your ship, your armor, or your weapon. The Browse Bag category here at the bottom left of the inventory screen is where you can find quest items, documents, and trade goods. Quest items can't be sold, but they do get used up, so to speak, when you complete a quest, like delivering a letter or recovering a family heirloom. Documents are tablets you find in exploration areas that have clues that lead to out-of-the-way places where you can find engravings used to enhance your weapons and armor at a blacksmith shop. Trade goods are mostly useless, except to sell to merchants. I mentioned engravings a couple of times now. Engravings are enhancements that are applied to weapons or armor and do things for you, such as additional poison damage or maybe protection from poison, that kind of thing. The abilities menu is basically a skill tree menu that allows you to choose what kind of style you want to play by assigning points to these various perks. The hunter tree is best for distance combat, such as with a bow and arrow. The warrior tree is for melee combat, and the assassin tree makes your character more stealthy and more deadly when using stealth tactics. The top left has an icon that shows your spear level. This is the Spear of Leonidas. Your character is descended from Leonidas, and the spear is a source of power for your character. It can be upgraded in the game, and you'll learn how to do that fairly early on if you complete the Odyssey quest of the main storyline. The bottom left and bottom right corners of the ability menu are used to assign special abilities that come with the skills in the skill trees. And the bottom 9 abilities along this straight line here are the passive abilities that your character gets without having to choose. Some of these abilities are grayed out at the start and then get added and enhanced as you progress in the game. When you complete the tutorial province of Kefalonia, you leave the island by obtaining a ship and crew. The ship menu contains all the details about that ship. On the left, the physical characteristics that relate to weapons and armor on the ship are displayed. These can be upgraded, and the color of the background indicates how upgraded they are. The color of the level is similar to the weapon and armor classifications I talked about earlier. Blue is good, purple is better, and gold is the best. On the right, you have lieutenants. These are NPCs you can recruit from the world either by completing quests for them or knocking out opponents, then offering them a position on your ship. This is a cool feature I want to talk about for a second because it's a great way to upgrade the ship. So when you're out exploring and you come across a high-level opponent, in a fort for example, you can unequip your main weapon so that you're fighting with your hands. You're basically subduing your opponent, and instead of dying, you end up knocking him out. At this point, you can recruit him.
Meet a man named Varnavas at my ship. He'll be expecting you.
The same goes for sneaking up on someone and using the knockout option instead of assassinating him.
Take your fate in your own hands. Sail aboard my ship with me.
Once you recruit people this way, they end up in the lieutenants part of this menu. They're also color-coded, so blue, purple, and gold, just like weapons and other upgrades, are the ones to go for if you can, gold being the best. They'll give your crew and ship the best upgrades. The ship cosmetics section allows you to customize what the ship looks like and allows you to change the crew as well. I haven't really figured out if these things make any real difference in the game, but I always upgrade to the better color backgrounds, just in case. The Mercenaries menu shows you where your character is on the scale of mercenary tiers in the game. Let's back up for just a second and talk about the main character you play. As I said before, I'm playing as Alexios, the male protagonist. You learn in the opening cutscene that he lost his family early on and became a mercenary when he entered into adulthood. So back to the menu now. There are other mercenaries as well, and depending which tier you achieve, you get the benefits listed on this page, which is accessed on Xbox One by clicking the left stick. You enter each tier by defeating another mercenary in that tier. This shouldn't be too hard because these mercenaries are bounty hunters as well, and they will hunt you down when you get a bounty on your head for doing the things that assassins tend to do. The game alerts you when you come across a mercenary. If the mercenary is hunting you for a bounty, the helmet icon over him will be red. If not, it'll be white. Some of these mercenaries travel with animal companions, so if you fight them, be prepared to take on more than one opponent in some cases. The cult menu shows you all the various cult members you are tasked with hunting down in the game. This is kind of a spoiler, so you can decide if you want to skip past it or not. I say kind of because if you play the main storyline, you're going to find this out anyway, pretty early on. The cult is a secretive order of powerful people who are trying to control things behind the scenes, without any culpability for their actions. They're the kind of group that would profit from a war, for example, so they'd start something and then sell weapons to both sides to get rich. They're real dicks. They're also involved with the drama that broke your character's family apart, and it's your purpose in the game to uncover clues to find out who they are and then to hunt them down. This screen shows you the ones you need to discover still, the ones you've uncovered, and the ones you've already dispatched. You have to complete quests to find out clues about them before you learn who they are and can go after them. This game offers a tremendous variety of quests, side quests, places to explore, NPCs to help, opponents to face, gameplay options, as well as hundreds of weapons and pieces of armor that are upgradable to suit your playstyle. The map is massive and wide open, although it's best to stay in areas at or below your character's level if you want to be able to explore without getting killed. The fact that it's set in a part of the world with lots of ocean opens up the return of a strong naval element to the gameplay. You can dive to find hidden treasures and lost cities. There's an arena, and the storyline is pretty good too. Other than the gratuitous violence that's inherent in a game where you play as an assassin, there's nothing to dislike here. It's done exceptionally well, as all Assassin's Creed games are. And one last thing I haven't pointed out yet, but I will now, and it's something that I'm really appreciative, so I hope someone at Ubisoft is listening. Thanks for not interjecting too much of that current day meanwhile at Abstergo stuff. That stuff always interrupts the flow of the main game, which in this case is supposed to be in ancient Greece, not modern day wherever. It's really great just to stick to Greece in this case. I would imagine their upcoming releases will include ancient Rome or maybe even South or Central American historical fiction. As long as the games are this good, I figure I'll be checking them out. One of the great things about historical fiction like this is that you can learn stuff you didn't know by having fun playing a game. It's like a book that you get to interact with. This is another excellent Assassin's Creed game by Ubisoft, and one worth getting if you like this series. There is way more to talk about and way more to explore and find out about this game. Hopefully it gave you enough information to get your interest piqued so that you'll want to check it out yourself. I hope you find this video helpful, and I look forward to bringing you a review of Fallout 76 in the near future. Please consider supporting my efforts by becoming a patron on Patreon. Thanks, and make it a great day.